There he is.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Dew. We have a special guest, Andy. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly.
Asaro.
Asaro?
Asaro, yeah.
Asaro. Now, are you a Paisan or is that something else?
It's Sicilian.
There you go.
And there's a town called Mazzara del Vallo in Sicily that's kind of a fishing town. And there are a lot of Asaros and Jacalonis there.
Love it.
Steve-O, I've been following Andy on Twitter for a long time, mainly because we're all in the horse racing world, the contest world. Andy is a very accomplished handicapper and contest player, but he posts his political opinions. He retweets a lot of stuff. Okay. And I called you, Steve. I'm like, we got to get Andy on this show, man, because we see eye to eye. He's a horse player, and he could add some handicapping insight, some money-making insight. We could talk current events. We could talk the direction of the country, and I guarantee you this guy is going to have some insight for us.
I love it. Well, Andy, welcome to the family.
I hope so. Thank you for inviting me on.
Yeah.
So I basically, you've seen our show, Coffee with Dew. We talk about current events. We talk about maybe sometimes sports, and then we end it with maybe a pick or two. I figured we would talk about a few of these things here. I have an interesting video that I want to show you to start the show. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it.
Okay.
But I thought this was very interesting, guys, and the fact that it's kind of shocking that we're at this level where people don't know what the hell a man or a woman is. I want to get your input. Watch this 1-minute clip.
And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Yeah, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask. I think it is extraordinary that we are here and hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women.
So that's
so
the
I
issue
need to get your input on this. Please, one of you start. Go.
I want Andy to start.
Okay. A lot of times I tell my friends when things like this that are extraordinarily idiotic are said by people, I always wonder if I could bring my great-grandmother back or great-grandfather, and if they saw something like that. I mean, I think they'd die all over again. I mean, these people are obviously brainwashed. They're sick in the head. And, there are people, I believe there are people that are indoctrinating them. And maybe this lady is indoctrinated and she really believes it, but it's pure insanity. It's stunning.
So I see the same thing you guys see. There are two interesting points, or I don't know how interesting they are. 2 points I'd like to make. One, as the congressman said, or the senator, whoever that was, Howley, I guess, said in his questioning, he's like, you're here as a medical expert trying to effectively tell people how to live their lives. And you're part of that community that says, wear a mask, get vaccinated, shaming people who don't and all that stuff. Can you tell us if a man can get pregnant? And if you can't answer that, it's clear what is motivating you is political in nature, not scientific in nature. And the second thing is that, that woman that refused to answer, she was pandering to an audience. It wasn't that she was necessarily brainwashed. It's she knew what the political consequences were of answering that question with common sense. And she didn't want to face those consequences. She didn't want to say something that could damage whatever political momentum she felt her side had at that moment. So it's all a show, and it's all designed around pandering to, I think we're going to get to this topic here in a minute. The same people who are protesting and rioting in Minneapolis and trying to interfere with ICE. That's really what the goal is, Steve-O.
Yeah, Andy, you brought up a good point. Your grandparents or your parents. My my grandmother came from, they would call it a selo. It's a village in Bosnia. And if they heard this shit back then, they would back then they would probably just shoot you over there. So, yeah. I mean, it's just mind-boggling that we're here. Simple biology. And I think the main thing is, you look at scholarships, you look at sports scholarships, you look at physically, there's a famous black lesbian that's been going around. And she was at a gym. I think you guys have seen this. And there was a guy dressed as a woman going in there, and this guy has an assault record and was making inappropriate comments to this black lesbian lady in the locker room, and she's been very vocal about it out in San Francisco area. And it's kind of crazy that somebody like that has to be the spokesperson to get some sanity. I guess you need somebody like that to maybe get through some of the heads of those kinds of people. But
and back to Justin's point, which was a great point, because she stepped out of line and brought it to people's attention and told the truth, she's being mercilessly attacked by the left. And they do this every time someone in their group steps out from the narrative and tells the truth about something. They attack them mercilessly, and they don't. It's insanity.
They don't necessarily attack what they're saying. Often they do, but they often just attack them and try to assault their character, and skip over the factual basis for the original statement. So Andy, I think you're in Southern California. Can you talk about, what we see in the news? I'm in Orlando. Steve-O is in Wisconsin. We only know what we read and hear about the political climate in California. Mm-hmm. What is it like out there for conservatives and moderates? And do they have a voice? Are they gaining any momentum? Are they making progress towards undoing some of the damage that's been done in California? Or is it just an absolute nightmare that's only getting worse?
It is a nightmare, but I think it's getting better because investigations are starting to happen into the governor and the attorney general. I live in San Diego, and San Diego used to be a conservative town, believe it or not. And the corruption here is off the charts, just like it is in the state. And I guarantee you, once they start coming up with numbers and investigating, it's going to make Minneapolis look like nothing. This state is totally corrupt.
Well, there's that homeless.
Going back to COVID fraud.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's something like how many billions of dollars were invested in trying to solve the homeless crisis and all kinds of other things that have gone nowhere. The money that was invested in the high-speed rail, I think, that never got off the ground. So
all those things circle back. You see all this money being spent, and a good or probably most of the money ends up back in the politicians' pockets through donations or some other way. And a lot of this corruption reached the level that it did because people thought Trump would be in jail or dead and he would never be elected.
Yeah.
And now all this stuff is being exposed. And, you know, if you have any common sense, you want what's best for the country, you know, this stuff has to stop. And people that are doing it, like Newsom, got to be in jail. Tim Walz got to be in jail. Jacob Fry got to be in jail. And I would argue that our mayor here, Todd Gloria, got to be in jail.
You know, you just used a word there, a phrase, common sense. You know what I think? I think that part of the liberal mindset, so Steve has heard me say this a million times, that I think what is at the core of liberalism often is, you know, our feelings of inferiority, feeling like, you know, you've been made to feel inferior, or you actually just have lived your life in such a way you're just not an impressive person. And I think people like that, they want to demonstrate some sort of superiority. So they've chosen the intellectual superiority route, and they try to sound like they're, you know, they give deeper thought to things and they understand things on a higher plane. That requires the rejection of what Andy just said, common sense. Why can't we use common sense? If you use common sense, well, they reject common sense. If you look at any political issue, any current event, and you say, okay, what is the common sense reaction to this? Liberals are always on the opposite side of the common sense. Their solution to problems, their ideas for the direction of the country or how we address, you know, micro issues or whatever, it's never common sense. Like this girl that now works for the new mayor of New York, who's talking about like home ownership is a sign of white privilege and white supremacy. And like, it's like just off the charts and how we should end private ownership of homes, because that just, I mean, you have to get so down into the weeds. That's the wrong phrase, but you have to just hyper intellectualize everything to come up with these absurd ideas. And that is where they originate from, these feelings of inferiority, and they reject what Andy just brought up, common sense. So, Andy, do you think that we hear about, congressional districts in California and, redistricting and things like that, and how there are pockets of Southern California and really the whole state, not just Southern California, but the whole state that are red counties? Are we ever going to see a time where the Republican Party can make any progress in California, either at, governorship or more representatives in Congress? What's your thought on that?
I think we will. I know they've been cheating at elections for many, many years. The voting system is corrupt. And most people, I mean, you mentioned the word liberal, like, I don't think the Democratic Party has many traditional, just liberal people anymore. I mean, they're getting less and less. I would categorize a lot of these people as Marxist drones. I think California can come back. I was actually before, while Biden was in, I was thinking about moving because, if Trump didn't get in, I was hands up in the air. I'm going to South Dakota or Arizona or some place like that, because the taxes here are insane, auto insurance insane, property taxes insane. Just everything you do is hyper expensive, and they just did a Balboa Park here, which is about a mile away, a great park. They just instituted paid parking for the park, and every expert says that it will decrease traffic at the park. The museums will make less money. They'll have to lay people off. In other words, it's a regressive type of tax, the parking meters. But the reason they do it is that whoever has that contract is circling back money to the politicians. And they just keep doing this stuff, and they keep doing it, and nobody stops them. It's going to require people going to jail for corruption. It's flat out corruption.
You brought up the taxes. So Cook County, Illinois, Chicago. I do real estate in Southeast Wisconsin. Kenosha is right on the border. We're famous for the Rittenhouse shooting, or He took out a couple of bad guys. I was there that night, by the way, guarding a strip mall, but we could talk about that later. But I'm seeing a lot of people moving from Illinois into Wisconsin. A lot of people are moving from Illinois, Chicago, into Indiana. Chicago's population census has gone down pretty much every decade, and it's going to go down again. These blue states are overtaxing and under-delivering. Chicago Bears are talking about building their stadium in Northwest Indiana for the very same reason. But this is in every blue area, it seems like. And I think their gravy train is running out, because you can have a census for the population for your, I guess, the electoral college or your districts. You get a number of these congressional seats based on the population.
Right.
So with us taking out these illegal immigrants, this is why they're fighting so hard.
So exactly, Steve-O. And I'm glad you brought that point up, because the last time we did the show, I remember I asked a kind of a rhetorical question, which is, how can the Democrat Party think that rallying around these issues, like, open borders and letting in illegal immigrants, how can they think that's going to resonate with the voters enough to win elections? And then a very simple point came to me. It's not that they think it's going to win them points with the voters. It's that the illegal immigrants are the voters. And
correct. That's correct.
And that is why, because think about this. If you're just an average everyday American, okay, living your life, raising a family, or you're single and you're just doing your job and and you want the same basic things that everybody else wants. You want a job that pays you a wage, that you can live your life the way that you want, and maybe have the occasional nice thing or whatever. Why would you rally so hard to the point of risking your own life to allow people to come into this country illegally, not only stay for as long as they want, but then mooch off the system? Most of these illegal immigrants, they don't contribute anything. They're not help. Nobody in America really benefits from them being here. So why would you be fighting so hard? And I think that's the answer. I think subconsciously, when you have the voter ID laws that certain areas have tried to push back, and the census and the congressional districts, you don't have to think that deeply to realize that the issue has been staring all of us in the face. They are the voters. That's why. It's not that they're trying to appeal to voters by doing this. They're trying to keep their voters in the country and voting.
Have you seen the map, Justin and Andy, the map of the states that Kamala Harris won without voter ID laws compared to the states that had voter ID laws? I think she lost every state that had voter ID laws, and she won every state that did not have voter ID laws. That's pretty telling. And that's why they're fighting so hard.
Man, in California, mass fraud.
Why wouldn't you want a fair election? Why would you not want that? Justin, you brought up a point about what are they fighting for? That brings us to Renee Good. That's been a big story. Maybe we should just touch on it for a minute.
Yeah.
She lived in Missouri, as I understood. She divorced her husband. She had 3 kids. She became a lesbian, moved to Minneapolis, or was in the process of moving there with her lesbian lover. And during that episode that happened, correct me if I'm wrong, but she wanted to agitate ICE agents. She blocked traffic. Her lesbian girlfriend got out of the car, wanted to record it for social media likes and things of that nature. And that's when Renee hit the gas. And by the way, the agent that got brushed or hit, or his foot, I don't know what happened, but he actually got dragged 50 yards a month earlier by a car.
Yeah.
Same thing happened.
Right.
And I
it was
believe
the second time something like that happened
this time around. But is this going to be a common thing?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a common thing, guys? Or are we going to put a stop to this?
It's a formula. It's a combination of factors where you have your bitter, resentful, unhappy people who have just decided that the world is an unfair place and that America is the world, and they want to fight everything. They're just mad. They're bitter. They have a lot of hostility pent up, and they're looking for some way to vent. And this is the way that they've chosen. I mean, I've asked myself, are we close to the end of this nonsense? And I'm leaning towards that the liberal leftist, call it what you want, the communist, effectively the tearing down of America. I think that movement may be coming to an end, and this is like the last dying gasp. Now, if the Democrats take the House of Representatives this year, which betting markets say is going to happen, then I don't know what that means for this. Maybe obviously Trump will be impeached if that happens. It won't go anywhere. But,
Right.
Are they just going to stop and go away? Is a more moderate candidate going to step up and change the narrative? And I don't know exactly. I just think Trump means business. And I think right now, I think he has the upper hand.
He does mean business, and he's going to finish this in Minneapolis no matter how many people he needs to send there.
I want to bring something up, Andy.
Go ahead.
You're bringing up Indianapolis. You can see the little thumbnail thing. Just listen to this 1-minute clip here from our guy, Will Kane.
Let me give you this. How about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? In February of this year, she claims that she's actually a millionaire. She wrote, "My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I have stock or own a home. I'm still paying off my student debt." So if you're going to lie on something that is public, maybe try checking my financial statements, and you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions. Well, people have checked the public records now. Ilhan Omar apparently has a net worth upwards of $30 million, somewhere between $60 and $30 million. And get this, it's because of companies run and owned by her husband, who in 2023 had a net worth of $51,000. In 1 year, that $51,000 grew from $6 to $30 million, 3,500% growth in 1 year. What a good communist. It's always equality for you, elitism for those in power.
So everybody's saying, oh, she married a rich investment banker or something. This guy had a net worth of 51 grand 2 years ago.
Right.
He got kickbacks from her and other Somalians or whatever they did.
Right.
And this thing is all dropped, is crashing down. Tim Walz, why are you not seeking re-election? Think about it. But he's staying in there. He should resign immediately. And he's trying to divert the attention away from his fraud to the Renee Good thing. It ain't going to work.
Right. They're creating all this. Go ahead, Justin.
Steve, how do you know it's not going to work? Nobody ever holds these Democrats accountable.
Walz is dropping out. He's not seeking re-election.
But he's not going to get it. He's not going to get indicted. Nothing will happen. Andy, what were you about to say?
I forgot what the point I wanted to make.
The point is they're taking money. Look, we've heard 1 billion, 9 billion. It could be 20 billion. You're telling me California is worse.
California, you're looking at 100 billion, maybe more.
Point being is Ilhan Omar was worth zero in 2018 when she got elected. Now she's worth 30 million. Her husband had $51,000 in net worth 2 years ago. Look, like Justin said,
the money circle. It's the money circle.
Somebody's got to be accountable here. This is ridiculous. And 81% of them Somalians, they're on welfare. Nick Shirley did us all a favor. I don't know if you saw the last video. He went in. Yes. It went from a learning center. Now they have medical centers, and he went into a building. It was Suite 2 something. It didn't even exist, and they got millions of dollars. And all of these Somalians came out like crickets everywhere, like termites, and attacked them while they were recording. And it was almost like they were just gonna start hitting them. But I don't know if you guys know Officer Tatum. He actually got these guys personal security, so at least they're going to be somewhat safe on that regard.
Hey, last thing I want to ask, I know we kind of switched off California, but I did want to ask Andy, my understanding is there's a minimum wage in California of $20 an hour. That has led to, for instance, fast food restaurants don't hire people anymore. It's all done by computers now. How accurate is that? What impact has that minimum wage law, assuming I have my facts right, what impact has that had on the job market, the labor force in California?
Well, definitely, the fast food workers lost a lot of jobs. It's the type of thing that people hear that sounds good, but actually does the opposite, like many things in Marxist drone land. It's complete insanity. So gotta wait for people to go to jail for it to stop.
Steve-O, what are your we touched on Venezuela already. Now there's Greenland.
Yeah.
You want to get into the whole Greenland thing for a minute before we talk horses and sports?
Yeah, listen, Greenland, in my opinion, is everybody sees Greenland on a map, which that's not how big it is. Okay, that's
Right.
number one, because you got to look at a globe once in a while, people. But it's strategically located in a spot where it's key for us for national security. And as Trump said, he was joking about it, but the Netherlands were talking about adding a sled dog for extra military or security. The point being is Greenland doesn't have a big population. There's like 50 to 75,000 people there, I think. It's not heavily populated. There's more people in Kenosha, Wisconsin than the whole country of Greenland. And I believe that as far as what's inhabitable, aren't there glaciers pretty much over 80% of Greenland? I don't know. It's
barren.
It's pretty barren, but there might be some natural resources, this and that, but it's strategically located where we do need to control it for national security. And if the Netherlands can't do it, which they can't,
Denmark,
much like
Denmark.
I keep saying Netherlands, Denmark. If Denmark can't secure it, Trump's like, let me buy it. And I think we're right considering the geopolitical landscape. I think it would be smart and advantageous for us to secure a deal.
I think people still haven't figured out the way Trump operates. He says things like, I'm not taking military action off the table. He probably just wants some assurance from Denmark that the U.S. military or NATO or whomever is going to be allowed to operate the way they need to keep the region safe. And that if there really are minerals there, that the United States gets the, upper hand in making sure that we control them, not China or Russia or some other, of our enemies. So Trump says things. I think, there's a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits is begin with the end in mind, meaning know where you're going before you start the journey. I think Trump knows what it is that he wants and what he thinks America needs. And then the rest of it is all negotiation and, bloviating and running his mouth and trying to get the deal that he wants. Same with Venezuela. I think when the dust settles, what we did in Venezuela is going to be better for the American people. And I think he believes the similar thing will happen with Greenland, regardless of who ends up controlling it or where our Navy stations are or what happens to the rare earth minerals that are allegedly there. Let's give the guy a chance. But, Steve-O, we've talked about it every time we meet. The 2026 election, I think it could bring all of this to a halt, couldn't it?
Look, historically, when the incumbent gets in, the House goes to the other party. But I told you this. We have the 250th anniversary this year. There's going to be a big bash for that. We got the UFC fight at the White House. Cool. We have the World Cup coming here. We have a new Fed chair coming in that's going to lower interest rates even more. We have the stock market's doing very well. I'm sure you guys have investments. That's looking great. We're going to get it. I mentioned the new Fed chair before. there's a lot of good I mean, the CPI, the inflation numbers, energy is down. We have 18 trillion in investment. Look, where I live here just in Sturtevant, Wisconsin, Microsoft has a gigantic data center being put in. There's another one in Janesville, Wisconsin going in. They're going in all over the place. Probably not so much in California. Like Google, I heard, is moving out, and so is Amazon. And Elon Musk already left California. But the rest of the country is robotics, AI, new technologies. We're going to need people in that workforce to be educated and trained to work in these industries. And America is moving ahead in this 21st century, and Trump is bringing us there. So you're either going to hop on the train or you're going to get left out.
Bessent mentioned yesterday that by the end of the year, GDP will be 6 or 7%, which is astronomical. It's fantastic. And absolutely the economic situation for everybody in this country is going to improve. The other thing, and by the way, on Kalshi, I bet the Republicans to win the House. I think it's something like 3-1.
3-1.
I can't see one metric other than the historical thing where the Democrats had an advantage. I mean, most of the voter fraud is going to be eliminated. You have an improving economy. I just don't see, I can't see the Democrats winning the House. I just can't.
I'm with you, man. I'm completely with you, but we all see what the gambling markets say. I mean, the bettors see the same stuff that we see. My concern has always been conservatives, I think, tend to be a little more focused on their lives. They're happy. They're not following the news all the time. It's the active group has always been the left. The word is escaping me, but they're the ones that take action. And they're going to go vote, and their anger is a motivator. I think you can't ignore the facts. You can't ignore the facts if you want, but the gambling markets, I think, are often the way.
Yeah, but I think those are historical trends are betting now in January. I think all the things that I mentioned, what Andy mentioned, it's the economy, stupid, right? James Carville, didn't he say that? The economy, we had 9%, 8% inflation with Joe Biden. It's 2 point whatever now. Mm-hmm. Look at our energy costs. Look at the unemployment numbers. Look at we have everything moving in the right direction right now. We have to keep that momentum. Trump's going to be out there on the stoop, or whatever you want to call it. He's going to be doing his thing. He's going to rally the troops. And, look at our first clip today. Do people still want to vote for that garbage? You don't even know what the hell a woman is?
Well, a lot of people are delusional, man. I mean, some of these people, they're not going to change.
What does the Democrat Party have to offer? Outside of talking
misery.
About Trump.
They have misery to offer.
No, what ideas do they have? What's their great idea?
None.
I already told you what Trump's doing. AI, robotics, this and that. This thing in Venezuela, the people of Venezuela are cheering. Maria Machado just gave Trump her Nobel Peace Prize and a plaque, and the Democrats are mad about that.
There's an example after example of socialism and communism.
They're miserable,
causing nothing but misery, and yet we have people in this country who somehow think it's great, and they're just delusional.
Those odds, you're telling me that. What you tell me why people are going to vote Democrat outside of I don't like Trump? What is
anti-Trump?
Their idea?
They hate Trump. I mean,
what is their idea? How are we going to make America great?
They haven't had one for forever. Their idea has been, the right is racist, borders are bullshit. That's all that it's taken.
Borders are bullshit. No drugs coming in. 0 border crossings in 7 months.
We
have crime. Have you seen the crime statistics?
You're using
way down.
Logic. You are using logic to overcome nonsensical, irrational arguments from the left. They don't respond to logic or facts. They respond to their emotion, and their emotion is anger and bitterness. And there's extreme risk that that's going to rule the day. I mean,
so Orange Man bad, vote Democrat. That's it.
Yes.
No ideas. We're just gonna be a socialistic. We want Mom Donnie, whatever his name. We want those guys all over the country.
The one thing I would say about the prediction markets, the prediction markets are proven to be very accurate. I mean, they've taken the place of polling. Polling is, who cares about your poll? The prediction markets are more accurate. But it wouldn't take, if $500,000 seems like a lot to us, but it's not for a political party or some billionaire to put $500,000 to win on the Democrats to skew the odds. So, it's just like skewing a poll. I mean, that's a possibility, but I know it will. The odds will even out as we get closer to election.
All right, so that's what I was going to ask you. Let me see if I can get these. I'm looking for the odds now. Right now, the last one I saw, I think it was like 78 to 22 or whatever.
Right.
What do you think the number is going to be? Say, October 15th.
90-10.
What? 90-10? It's going to get worse? Wow.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think the Republicans will be favored nearing the election.
Okay, wait a minute. No.
I think it's going to be 90% chance the Democrats retake the House. That's what I think.
That's conventional wisdom, I don't see how, but we'll see. I mean, I'm going to keep betting on the Republicans, even though I'm not a Republican. I'm independent. But
look what happened. Look, and now, granted, the 2020 election there was rampant fraud and mail-in ballots and all that, but all that chaos in the streets, it got liberals to the polls. It got them motivated, and we talk about things like the unemployment rate being down, GDP being up, the stock market doing well, et cetera. They don't care. I mean, look where gas prices are now. They don't care. They hate Trump. I mean, Donald Trump could make a decision that literally cured cancer, okay? And they would still find a way to label anyone who supports him a racist. They're not motivated. They've never go look at the Democrat speeches that were given in the 90s and even during the Obama years that talked about the dangers of illegal immigration. And now look at their position on illegal immigration.
Oh, he made a lot of sense.
It's never been about making lives better for the Democrats. It's been about rallying the coalition of people with grievances and getting them to the polls. That's all that matters to them.
It's about power.
Yeah, achieving power on the back of their resentful. And they'll just find a new. That's why the middle class in the Rust Belt was abandoned by the Democrat Party. It became clear to the Rust Belt crowd, the labor unions, et cetera, that the liberal playbook wasn't good for their lives anymore. So they left the Democrat Party, and the Democrats just found a new group, illegals, or any one of a number of like sexual minorities or anybody who wants to scream racist. I mean, they created a new audience. So I don't know. There you go. That I think it's going to be worse than that come election day. That's what I think.
Well, what made it tighten? You look at that October. When was that? Not that long ago. It was pretty tight there. 58-42.
I think it had something to do with when California announced that they were going to redistrict. I think that was the part that changed. But then there was also Texas changing in favor of the Republicans. So it had something to do with that. I don't remember exactly which state caused it to move, but it did move.
Well, I got to tell you, with these odds, I think I'm with you, Andy. I think it's worth a few shackles to put on the GOP at this point. I talked about it. We get a good economy, all of the good things that are going to happen. I mean, I just if you don't have an idea, except for Orange Man Bad, I just don't see them coming out in droves. Justin, you feel otherwise? That's fine. The biggest problem in the U.S. is demographics. Mass deportation of 20 million or more illegal immigrations is needed. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever said that is probably correct. I mean, we got to get a lot of people out of here. So I got a hard stop in 16 minutes. We got to get to, I think, sports and horses.
Oh yeah. We can do that definitely. I wanted to talk real quick about the Lecomte. Justin, I know that dirt racing isn't your thing.
Well, right now, no
But-
racing is my thing, but let's
but
scroll
this
through the
is-
field here.
This is a Kentucky Derby prep, so I like to talk about all the Derby preps. And my initial, I have to look at the scratches. I don't know when those come out, but my initial thought was Thunderbuck for Brad Cox with Saez. Troubled start or break in both races, got steadied, still won last time, second off the layoff. And whenever I have Saez in the irons, I like anything that he's on. Plus, this horse has a pretty nice high cruising speed. It loved routing, but if it does run on the undercard in the A other than, I would probably just veer right over to the stablemate White Tiger. Another one that had some issues in that last race at Churchill, going a mile and 16th, still won, and training well for this with Erad Ortiz. So it's one of those things where if 1A is out, I'll go to 1B. If he stays in, I'll probably stay with the 1A and then watch White Tiger win anyway. But that's what I was thinking on the Lecomte. I don't know if you guys looked at it. Andy, did you have
I agree with you on Thunderbuck. If you watch the video, quite an uncomfortable trip for the first 3 or 4 furlongs, I thought. And looked a little bit green, but kept trying and one going away. And I think we're going to see more improvement today. I don't know if the pace is going to be quick enough, but hopefully it is, and hopefully Thunderbuck runs well. I was going to use Gold Tempo and Mesquite underneath. So I like all closers, but hopefully we get an honest pace.
Yeah, Justin hasn't met a Sherry DeVoe horse that he doesn't like, and I'm sure you would like the 5 a little bit.
Hey, who's supposed? Let's look at the PPs of the horse that you think will be the front runner, will be on the lead.
Well, I think White Tiger is going to get to the front. I mean, when you have an early time form of 123 and you stumbled and still got the front, I really believe that White Tiger is pretty dangerous. So that's what leads me to believe that he's going to scratch the stablemate and run in the allowance, and then maybe run White Tiger here.
Look at the name of the dam, Steve-O. Look at the name of the dam.
Pure Silver, which is now what, $80, $90
an ounce.
Which is pretty amazing considering it was about 20 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
What about, so no opinion at all in the Lecomte?
No, I mean, I'm not looking at horses much these days. I've been focused on other things. I'm taking a break. I am coming out of temporary retirement next weekend for the Pegasus, because I'll be down there with our buddies Frank and Dylan
For your birthday.
I may or may not play in the contest. I don't know, but I'll be taking a look at some things then. But I think I'll probably take a look at the Lecomte. I like the idea of Irad being on the front runner at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
I'll talk to Frank. By the way, our buddy Frank's horse, Can't Deny It, is entered today at the fairgrounds. We don't know if the horse is going to scratch or not. And, I don't know if we'll talk to our buddy Frank and see if Frank thinks the horse is a good bet or not. I don't know.
Is it the post? Is it?
It's the 9 it's the 9 horse in race 7.
Right.
Can't Deny It. And I think they haven't decided if they're going to run or not. They might be looking at other options. That's where it stands. So we'll hopefully know more in a couple of hours if they're going. But let me, if we look, like, this horse just wins and pays money.
He likes to sprint on turf. They got Derby fever. We know they wanted to maybe see if it could route, and it doesn't like to route. But sprinting on turf, it's undefeated. Larry is, historically great with turf sprinters and has won the Breeders' Cup and other races. So, yeah, I actually, there's a contest. It's free. I got an email. It's called the heck is this thing called? I don't know. It's you get these sheets and you fill them out and you email them and get free prizes. So they use a different track every week for the Kentucky Derby Trail. So
one more thing on the Lecomte, I thought Ben Curtis on Stop the Car would send. I mean, he likes to send, so I'm hoping he forces the pace. And Stop the Car got a pretty low thoroughgraph number for his last performance.
Okay. And a 1-turn mile, undefeated.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Football picks. Listen, are you a Ram fan or Raiders or what's the deal, Andy?
I'm not really a fan of any particular team. This week I bet Seattle and I bet the Houston Texans. When I bet, I'm a money line guy, and I'll also give more points than the line. For example, on Seattle, San Francisco, I gave 10.5 all the way up to 21.5. I like odds. Obviously, I bet more on the -10.5 than the -21.5, but that's stuff that I usually do when I bet sports. I need odds, and it's probably maybe I do it to a fault.
Steve-O, I
So
don't have much.
the Bears as a home dog.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that game? I mean, you hated Caleb Williams. Now he's your favorite NFL player in history.
Listen. I know. Listen, to the Caleb Williams thing, I was wrong about how important coaching was last year. Caleb Williams was trash last year. Held the ball too long, got sacked 68 times, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. His completion percentage started off slow this year. He has gotten better as the year has gone on. But I underestimated our coach, Ben Johnson. He really has coached this kid up. And, he's a good locker room guy. He gave the game ball to Ben after the playoff. Look, when you beat Green Bay twice and you're 3-2 lifetime and you beat Green Bay in the playoffs, hey, you sold me. I have to be realistic. The kid's really improved and has done a 180. So I have to be real about it. He was terrible last year. He looked like a bust, and now he looks like a superstar. So what can I tell you? As far as the game goes, I'm looking on here now. Rams are now -4. So I'm taking the Bears all day long. Chicago's at home. I saw a stat where the Rams are, maybe it was Matt Stafford's 1-9 lifetime under 40 degrees or something like that. It's going to be like 15 with a wind chill of -2 with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds.
Isn't he supposed to be wearing a wetsuit under his jersey?
Well, let me tell you what. Justin, we've talked about it. We're 50 or going to be. You're going to be. He's 39 going on 40 or whatever it is. Your bones get creaky out there for 3 hours in the cold like that. And his finger is not 100% on his throwing hand. I don't know. I think things are going to get a little weird. And the Bears, they get off the bus running. They're third in the National Football League, rushing yards per game. They're going to run the football. They won last week without getting a turnover, which was a first, which they made some stops in the second half. They made adjustments. And if the Bears can at least score, 10, 13 points in the first half, they're going to win this football game because they always start terrible and they really turn it on late. So I'm looking for a shootout, even in the cold, because, Puka and Devontae and all those guys are going to move the ball. Let's be honest. But the Bears have a lot of young talent. They have the most important thing they have is confidence. It's house money. I think 4 is a gift, and I'm gonna play them on the money line. As far as the other games go, Josh Allen going into Denver. Denver's got a really good defense. The thing is with Denver, they rely on Patrick Surtain to shut down the number one wideout of the other team. Well, you tell me who the number one wideout is on Buffalo. I couldn't tell you. Josh Allen's probably going to put a Superman cape on, probably win this game in overtime. I would definitely take them on the money line. They're actually, well, they're catching 1.5 now, so that's interesting. The Niners are banged up too much. Shanahan gets here, he wins those games, he gets to this level, but Seattle's at home. They're one of the best home teams in the National Football League, and Niners are just missing way too many people. I can't see them winning that football game.
Why is the spread only 7 then?
7's a lot. Only 7. This isn't college football. 7's a big number.
I mean, this
7's a big number. 7's a big number. I don't know. I would take Seattle on a parlay and a money line there. I'd be leery laying 7, to be honest with you, but if you did bet the game, I would lay the 7. The other game, I don't trust CJ Stroud. He looked terrible last week. The only problem is Pittsburgh looked worse.
I agree with that.
And, Drake May has, talk about a quarterback class. The 2024 quarterback class will be compared to the 83 class, and for good reason. And Drake May is a superstar. They're only laying 3. The reason why is Houston has the best defense in the NFL. So that's going to be an interesting game.
Awesome defense. Awesome.
Right. So that's my input on all those games. And if you have an input, let me know, and then we can segue into the national championship game and then head out.
Well, like I said, I bet Seattle and I bet Houston, and I'm hoping Stroud. I'm hoping the quarterback improves off his last game, because he did. He looked horrible in that game.
I think as far as the national championship game, I wasn't surprised by Miami winning either of those first 2 games. I wanted Mississippi to beat them just because the Lane Kiffin factor. I thought that would have been a great story.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. The only thing I'll say, and Steve-O, you're a Big Ten guy. You've been a Big Ten guy forever. I think it blinds you sometimes. I mean, Indiana. So I want to talk about Oregon. Oregon, yes, they dominated James Madison, but James Madison had over 500 yards of offense that game, and it wasn't all in garbage time. It was a lot of it was in garbage time, okay? But Oregon's defense had holes. Then Oregon hooks up with Texas Tech, who I thought was absolute garbage.
Shut them out.
And that doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay.
And then what did Oregon do in the last game?
They got crushed. 50-something.
Indiana. Yeah. That's right. They got nothing. Yeah. So Indiana, I forgot why I was talking about Oregon for a minute. So
why are you ripping on Indiana?
So, yeah, Indiana just lights them up. My point is, I don't know what we can really draw from that Indiana domination of Oregon.
Why?
Because I just don't know that Oregon was that good.
And I think a Heisman candidate at quarterback who's coming back. The Big Ten has proven in the bowl games to be the superior conference record-wise.
See, that assumes that every team is playing and trying in these bowl games. The bowls are a weird thing because people don't play, and what you can draw.
They destroyed Alabama. They beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. That was that was for the Big Ten championship. Miami lost to SMU in Louisville. Now, you could talk to Rich Nielsen. He'll tell you that Louisville is the best thing since sliced bread, but I'm here to tell you that Louisville isn't that good, and SMU sucks.
Yeah, but nobody's playing better than Miami right now. They've got real athletes.
Nobody's playing better than Miami. Indiana's not playing better than Miami right now.
I'm telling you, I don't think this is going to be the cakewalk that you think it is. Listen, Indiana beat an overrated Oregon team. They beat an Alabama team that shouldn't have even been in the postseason. Alabama shouldn't have even been in the playoffs. They were playing terrible ball at the end of the season. They got throttled by Georgia in the SEC championship game. They had no business being there.
They won a game. They won to get there.
Who did?
Alabama. They didn't.
No, they
get
lost to
by.
Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, but they won a playoff game.
Beat Oklahoma. They were down 17-0 to Oklahoma, and
They
then
won.
something went crazy, and they got a win over Oklahoma. I'm just saying, Miami is going to give this team fits. I'm not saying they're going to win. Okay, I'm not saying they're going to win, but don't think that Indiana is going to come in here and just roll over Miami.
All right, give me a score prediction.
Somebody wins this game 31-28.
Somebody wins 31. It's going to be a close, high-scoring game. Wow.
31-28.
All right. Andy, give me your opinion on the Natty.
I don't have a strong opinion on the game. Obviously, Indiana's a great story, and everybody's, I think all the hype is on Indiana, even though they deserve the hype. I bet a real small amount on Miami on the money line just to watch the game. So I don't have a strong opinion.
All right, you like the dog and you don't have a strong opinion. Okay. My opinion is this. Miami will dominate this game in every facet. They have the best coach.
You mean Indiana?
I mean Indiana, excuse me. Indiana will dominate this game in every facet. They have the best coach that I have ever seen. Now, people are going to say, what about Paul Bryan or Nick Saban? They got 5-star recruits left, right, center, everywhere. Guess how many 5-star recruits Indiana has?
0.
Guess how many 4-star recruits they got? And somebody can correct me on this if I'm wrong.
Less than 5.
It was actually 7, I saw.
Okay.
In contrast, Miami, I think, has, 10 and like 30 in those numbers. And then Alabama even had more. Point being, Cignetti is an unbelievable X's and O's coach, motivator. He demands that you're in the right place at the right time. They don't make mistakes. And Mendoza is Drake May on steroids. He might throw for 75% completion percentage in this game. He's unbelievable at the back shoulder pass, accuracy downfield, the short stuff, everything. And believe it or not, he could use his giraffe-like legs and scramble out of the pocket once in a while. The final score in this game is going to be very lopsided. It's going to be a curb stomp. It's going to be 38-10 final.
Okay. I think Miami's going to put up points. They've got athletes.
They're not going to score a lot.
I don't think that Indiana has seen anything like Miami this season. That's what I honestly think.
Wow. Okay. Hey, you know what? We'll find out in 48 hours? Well, a little bit more than 48 hours.
Yeah. Hey guys, this was fun. I loved having Andy here. We got it now that Andy's got his camera and his microphone sorted out. Listen, we got to do this more often, and soon I'm going to be looking at horses again a little bit more. I've been a little distracted by other things and trying to focus on different priorities in life, but I am going to watch Frank's horse run today if it runs. Going to try to catch the Lecomte. We got the Pegasus coming up next weekend. I will be there. So just throwing that out there. We're going to do more of these shows, Andy. Hopefully you want to come back.
I'll come back. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be a little more polished.
No, you did a great job, and you're definitely coming back. We'll have to do a little Coffee with Dew with Andy Asaro from Cisco.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. All right, boys. I got to run. Good seeing you, man.
Thank you.
Good seeing you
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.